As online creators, Mitch and I watch a lot of YouTube, and we also get invited to events and panels to speak on behalf of the YouTube community. One big issue that we have noticed recently is that there's a huge problem with representation and equality amongst the YouTube community.
It's pretty frustrating to see YouTube as a medium where anybody can upload and share their thoughts and ideas, and yet still the top tier YouTubers are predominantly white males.
The reason for this is likely a great example of societal and systemic oppression at work. We are both a part of it. As white males, we do realize that it is our privilege in society that got us to this point, the ability to speak to millions of you about science. We both got here because of specific instances of privilege in our lives. Therefore, we think it's important to reflect on a very infamous checklist of privilege to hopefully educate you about maybe something you hadn't thought about before.
It's not to make us or you feel guilty, but it's more to just recognize and be thankful for the reasons you are where you are, and also have a broader view on society and the way other people experience their lives. If it rubs you the wrong way, just consider that it's really an attempt to raise awareness and not to degrade or belittle the hard work or hardships you've gone through, and in fact it's just an attempt to have a positive impact in the world.
I can turn on the TV or YouTube or open a magazine and see people of my race widely represented.
When I'm told about civilization or national heritage, I'm told that people of my own color made it what it is.
I can vocalize my opinions about racism without seeming self-interested or self-involved.
I do not have to educate my children about systemic racism for their own daily physical protection.
I can learn about the history of science and see my race and gender consistently and overtly represented.
I'm not made acutely aware that my shape, bearing, or body odor will be taken as a reflection of my race.
I can buy and do specific drugs around my peers without fear because of my race.
I'm never asked to speak for all of the people of my racial group.
I won't have my culture appropriated, romanticized, or eroticized for the gain of other races.
I can easily find flesh-colored band-aids or concealer that will match my skin tone.
I can assume that my failures won't be attributed to my race or gender.
Like right now, I can fight racism one day and forget about it the next.
I can swear or dress in secondhand clothes without having people attribute these choices to the bad morals or poverty or illiteracy of my race.
I can assume that if I work hard and follow the rules, I'll get what I deserve.
I can be sure that if I need medical or legal help, my race will not work against me.
I can walk into most classrooms or public settings and know I won't be the only one of my race. If you fall into any of these privileged categories, it doesn't mean you're doing something wrong, just like not all white, cisgendered, able-bodied, heterosexual males on YouTube are bad people.
Instead, just be aware that others might have to work much harder to experience some of the things that you take for granted.
At the very least, privilege, whichever kind, is a factor in all of our lives.
And to be honest, it's hard to keep going to these events and not seeing enough diversity or women on the panels and in positions of power. If YouTube itself and YouTube events had mandates that ensured other diverse voices were heard, then it would inspire a new generation of YouTubers to feel represented and passionate.
And us as viewers can go out there and do our part by watching all different types of diverse content to not only broaden our minds, but change our view of the world.
And by nurturing these new voices, we will have unique stories and better content.
So who are some of your favorite YouTubers of a diverse background or gender who aren't white males? We'll share some of our favorite YouTubers with a diverse background at the end of this video, but let us know yours. Educate us, help us to broaden our minds in this respect.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and subscribe to ASAP Thoughts. See you next week. Peace!